Out of the gates and ready to go. Round 2 of the NBA draft is coming up here in just a few minutes, and we're live once again on Philadelphia 76ers Now by Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr., and as always, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, we appreciate you for making our draft coverage a part of your night. Thanks to everybody who tuned in last night for round 1, and with all of the grades last night, then Chip is back at it today, and he's taking a look at some round 2 targets. Now our coverage continues, and we're so glad that all of you are here with us on 76ers Now. Of course, the news of the night last night pertaining to Philadelphia, the Sixers taking VJ Edgecombe, the guard out of Baylor. I've warmed up to the pick a little bit since when the Sixers took him at number 3. Still would have gone Ace Bailey, but he didn't do himself any favors last night. I thought the draft fit was bad. What he said in his post-draft press conference, I didn't really understand what his pre-draft process was. He didn't really relay that. And I just think he could be a malcontent with the Utah Jazz. So have fun out there in Utah. VJ Edgecombe is actually very excited to be with Philadelphia. Tyrese Maxey flew in for his workout. And Edgecombe is already in the gym today, getting some work in. Some people around him putting out a video of him doing all these drills, and how it was basically working out was the trainer would count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that would force Edgecombe to beat his man one-on-one off the dribble, settle for a shot, hit a step back, show off some moves, show off that shot-making ability. So character, athleticism, defense, I think NBA spacing can help him. I'm really excited to watch him at the NBA Summer League. So if you were with us last night, even if you weren't, we want you to grade the pick down in the comment section right now. VJ Edgecombe to the city of brotherly love. Welcome. Looks as though he is going to wear the number 77. Only one name comes to mind for a superstar player who's worn that number, and that's Luka Doncic. What the Sixers should do, say, Kyle Lowry, we know you're from Philly, you're a Villanova legend, you're washed. You want to come back again, that's fine. But you got to give up the number 7 to the young bull in VJ Edgecombe. So, Chip, here we are, nearly 24 hours after the Sixers took him out of Baylor. Any more thoughts? Are you feeling a little bit better about it? What are some thoughts that have come to mind today?
Yeah, I'm definitely optimistic about it, right? Because obviously the initial reaction, you look at what he does well, you look at what he doesn't, and you try to form an opinion right away on the player based off, what you thought of pre-draft, right? And still thought highly of him pre-draft, but thought a little more highly of Ace Bailey, as a player. But, over the last 24 hours, you start to think about the intangibles, right? And how much that really does matter. The fact that he is a high character guy, that he is going to come in and work hard, and he's going to do things the right way. He said all the right things since he's been drafted. The way he's been talking, like, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to go to work. He mentioned, like, everybody in the NBA, it's a bunch of grown men fighting for their jobs, right? Everyone's trying to find their spot in the league. And so he's going to come in, he's going to compete. He said, he'd do whatever the coaching staff needs him to do. So, he's saying all the right things as opposed to someone like Ace Bailey who, not really saying all the right things. So, I'm definitely optimistic on the pick. I do like the skill set he can bring. I mentioned, I think with his defensive ability, with his athleticism, he can play right away. He can play in transition.
Yep.
And I went back last night, watched more highlights of him. And, watching highlights of a player is never going to give you, obviously the full picture of a player because it's all his good stuff.
Reason it's highlights.
Yeah. And his highlights, they're impressive because, of course, he's an athletic guy. So throwing down a lot of big-time dunks, getting out in transition. Where I was most impressed really is his defensive instincts and making plays on the defensive side of the ball. He's not just a good defender. He's a defensive playmaker. Like, he really does get in those passing lanes. He can rise up for some backside blocks when he's rotating over. So the defensive side should be exciting. A lot of the highlights offensively are just fast break dunks.
Yep.
You don't see a whole lot of, like, breaking down his man, pulling up from deep. But I will say I also watched a little bit of him playing for the Bahamas and playing in those, I think it was the Olympic qualifiers. And, he looked really good, man, taking some people off the dribble, getting to the rim. The shot looks nice. Will it fall? We will see. But, I think Sixers fans are warming up to this as well. Right now, our poll question, grade the VJ Edgecombe pick. If you haven't voted, go vote. We got 95 votes and counting. 55% A, 38% B. So pretty good so far.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comment section too. Ryan Rowe with an A. The legendary rappers. I wouldn't mind having a new guard to have VJ, though, but for him, if I had to grade this pick, I would give him an A. Justin McIntyre, not a superstar like Flagg or Harper, but he's a strong, reliable player who knows that D or F.
Yeah.
Also just seems like a guy who you want to root for. He got it out of the mud, too. His family lived off a generator for 7 years without electricity, and in the city of Philadelphia, we like to get gritty and grimy and get it out of the mud. I also want to pass this along, too. I work out with the guy Davis Morgan at Evolve Gym in Dallas, Texas. He went to Baylor, and I saw his Instagram story today. It was a post about VJ Edgecombe going to Philadelphia, so I asked him, tell me what I don't know about VJ Edgecombe, and if I'm concerned about the pick, why should I not be? And Davis said this: VJ is a freak athlete with raw talent. I don't think he knows how good he is yet. He was often trying to be a team player, as we had a few seniors that were running the team. When he could have driven to the basket every possession, he could have done that. When we would be down in a game, he would click into like another version of himself, pull out an insane dunk or a deep three that no one saw coming. He may not have looked like the best in all categories, but his potential bias aside, I think is the highest in this draft. And so he also added, if anything, he will be entertaining to watch. Totally agree with that. And I think that there's something to be said. Sometimes the college game, with the pace, the coaching, surrounding pieces, talent, flow of the game, minutes in the game, they can impact a player and kind of constrict them in a way at the college level. But then, better coaching, better talent, more pacing, more flow, all of that can really help out a prospect. And that's the thought from a lot of people who really like VJ Edgecombe, that the NBA game is really going to benefit him. But what stood out to me about what Davis said, when we needed a bucket, he got a bucket. When we were down or in crunch time and he needed to be the guy, he was the guy. He is selfless. He does have good character. Started a charity in the Bahamas. All of this stuff is phenomenal stuff because I do believe that character and culture matter, especially with a dysfunctional organization like the Sixers. My entire life, pretty much, they have been a poorly run organization. Then you look across the South Philadelphia sports complex, and you look at Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman and how they run the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, what have they done as far as bringing in high-level character guys? They've emphasized bringing those types of players in who are obviously talented, and they have developed and built a fantastic culture. Sixers don't have that. A lot of reasons for that. Not a great owner, I don't think. Daryl Morey, more of an analytical guy than a culture guy and a human nature guy. But if you start to bring in more high-level, high-quality people, that can benefit your culture. You have that in Tyrese Maxey. You have that in Jared McCain. Now you have that in VJ Edgecombe. What Charles Barkley said the other week on 97.5 The Fanatic, I thought was a huge red flag. That he was at training camp a few years ago, and on day one of training camp, the Sixers went to practice, and Joel Embiid just didn't practice in 5-on-5. And if you're another player and the star, the face, the pillar of your organization, when it comes time for 5-on-5, on day one of training camp, it's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Sets the tone, and it sets a message for the rest of the organization. Hopefully the Sixers can get past that, and that's where character comes into play. VJ Edgecombe certainly has that. So we can recap round one, everything that happened last night. The draft to start, Chip, I thought was all chalk. Then things started to go in a couple of different directions. Cooper Flagg, number 1, to the Dallas Mavericks. Dylan Harper, number 2, to the San Antonio Spurs. VJ Edgecombe, number 3, to the 76ers. We all thought that was going to be the order. Con Knipple, or is it Knipple? Knipple?
Con Knipple.
Con Knipple,
I believe.
going number 4 to the Charlotte Hornets. I do kind of like the fit there with some of the pieces that they already have, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller.
Yeah, fits well for sure. Not the 4th best player in the class,
No.
right? Some people think he is. Some people think he isn't. I don't think he is. but does fit well. They could use another guy. I like him at the 2. Can fit next to LaMelo, next to Brendan Miller, be a shooter, be, someone that can handle the ball a little bit as well. So, again, not the 4th best player, but makes sense there, especially with the report that came out today that Ace Bailey told a team in the top 5 if they drafted him, he would not show up. We don't know if it's the Sixers or the Hornets. Obviously, it's not the Mavs or the Spurs. So it's either the Sixers or the Hornets. He said, if you draft me, I will not show up.
Who do you think you are?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And then you go to picks 5 through 8. Ace Bailey goes to Utah. According to a lot of the chatter pre-draft, he did not want to go to the Utah Jazz. And Danny Ainge says, you know what? We're bringing him in. And we're going to take a chance on a swing on a player who has incredible upside and could end up being the best player in this draft. Talking about character earlier, Ace Bailey just doesn't seem to have it. But fascinated to see how he works out with Utah. Trey Johnson, number 6 to the Wizards. Jeremiah Fears to the Pelicans with the 7th overall pick. Igor Yemen to the Brooklyn Nets at number 8. A lot of people think that's one of the biggest reaches of the draft. He's a point guard who can't shoot, can't really handle. His BYU coach did say that he has some of the most upside in this NBA draft class. Of course, he's going to say that. He coached him at BYU. But the Nets had a really weird draft. They kept cutting to their war room. And I just don't get what their draft strategy is. I mean, they drafted multiple guards and point guards last night. Colin Murray-Boyles went to the Raptors at number 9. Kamon Malawach went to the Suns at number 10. Cedric Coward, wing out of Washington State, to the Grizzlies at number 11. They traded up to get him. Of these picks here, gotta love the Malawach pick to Phoenix.
It's a great fit for them. So they make this pick. They also trade for Mark Williams. So now all of a sudden, one of their biggest issues from the past couple of years, really, they haven't had center play. Now you add 2 centers, especially one in Malawach here, who I thought should have gone earlier than number 10. He'll be a great, great fit there. Funny, I actually saw a story right before we got on this live today that when he was playing for South Sudan in the Olympics last year, him and Devin Booker actually chopped it up a little bit. They met at dinner. They were talking. D. Book was like, hey, I'll see you next year, man. Didn't know at the time he was going to be teammates with him. Just kind of meant, I'll see you in the NBA. But now they're teammates, like what he brings as an athletic freak. And some upside, too, if that jump shot, which he didn't get to show off at Duke, is real and legit. He can show it off in the NBA.
Did Seeps like Noah going to the Bulls at number 12?
So Seeps didn't like it, right? I actually like it for Chicago. Noah Senge is very much a project, right? He just hasn't shown a lot, especially offensively, but he's very tall, 6'8". Some people are even saying he's 6'10", 6'11" in shoes as a wing who can handle it a little bit. Really all the upside is on the defensive end of the floor. He already looks to be an incredible defender, but the offensive game is very much a work in progress. He's years away from being ready. But I don't mind that for the Bulls, man. I feel like too often the Bulls are just stuck in the middle, right? They're doing things that keep them in the play-in in mediocrity. I like this pick a lot for them. If it hits, you got Noah Senge, you got Matas Buzelis as your 2 wings, your 2 forwards. That could be scary if he's able to develop everything with his height, his handle, if he gets the shot down. You're talking about, again, like a 6'9", do-it-all type of forward. Some people were throwing out Giannis comps. He's not going to be Giannis, but maybe a Giannis light of sorts.
I do like Derek Queen to the Pelicans at number 13. I really like his touch around the rim. But the fact that the Pelicans moved up 10 spots and they gave up an unprotected first-round pick next year is insanity. I don't know what Joe Dumars is doing. And when Chip and I were talking about that trade, we said, oh, it has to be protected for sure because the Pelicans aren't going to make the playoffs in a loaded West. It's unprotected. So you get a player who you really like in Derek Queen. Some people are theorizing that maybe Zion, him switching agents, he's now going to ask for a trade, and that's been in the works, and that's why the Pelicans addressed the front court there. But to not put protections on that pick, a team would have been like, all right, top 5 protected, top 10 protected, yeah, that's fine. No protections on that pick is crazy. Carter Bryant to the Spurs at number 14. Thomas Sorber, the big added Georgetown to OKC at number 15. He's a Philadelphia area guy. Hanson Yang, they're calling him the Chinese Jokic. The big added China to the Portland Trailblazers at number 16. Yon Behringer to the T-Wolves at number 17. Walter Clayton Jr. goes early here to the Jazz at number 18. Nolan Schrayer, the guard, to the Brooklyn Nets. Another guard for Brooklyn at 19. And then Kasparis Yakachunas to the Heat at number 20. Nick Roloff, our Heat host and main NBA draft analyst, love the pick. He called it the best pick last night. Might be a little bit biased, but he really likes it.
Yeah, definitely a little bit biased. He had Yakachunas as his 6th best player in the draft. Obviously, to get him at 20, he's fallen in love with it. Little bit of a polarizing player, although I do think people expect him to be gone by number 20. You know, as a guard who expect him to run your show, run your offense, and he certainly can do that, but did struggle with turnovers and doesn't really turn the corner all that well and blow by guys. Does have a good step-back jumper, though. How reliable can his three-point shot be? But I think at number 20, with everybody else that was on the board that went after Yakachunas here, I think a great pick, especially, you know, Nick Roloff brought up a pretty good point here. You look at the two guys who went in front of him, Walter Clayton, a guard, Nolan Schrayer, a guard to Utah and Brooklyn. I think Yakachunas is better than both of them. So potentially a stealer from Miami who does a good job typically in the draft.
Yeah, you like the size as compared to those other two smaller guards. And then 21 through 24, Will Riley to the Wizards. Drake Powell, a wing to the Nets. Asa Newell, big out of Georgia to Atlanta. Neek Clifford, wing out of Colorado State. Sacramento Kings at number 24. Jace Richardson to the Magic at 25. Ben Seraph to the Nets at number 26. They go guard again. They take Danny Wolf, the big out of Michigan, who a lot of people like. His brother was very emotional after he got selected. Hugo Gonzalez is a player that the Celtics were said to be targeting for a very long time. Brad Stevens saying, we really like him. We've been eyeing him for a long time. And he's getting some Josh Hart comps, the wing out of Real Madrid. That's where Luka Doncic played before he got drafted by the Mavericks. Liam McNeely, the wing out of UConn to Charlotte. And then this is your guy right here, the Penn State big. I was looking at your mock draft. You had VJ Edgecombe to the Sixers at number 3. And then you had Yannick Kanan Niederhauser to the Sixers in the second round. He goes number 30 here. Surprised at him being the final pick in that first round?
Yeah, I didn't expect him to be a first-round pick at all, and no mock drafts I saw had him going in round 1, especially over the likes of Ryan Kalkbrenner and Maxime Raynaud.
Yeah.
So, a player I would have liked. He's raw, but he's extremely, extremely athletic. I think had the second highest max vertical jump of any player at the Combine, not just big man, any player. So he's got a lot of physical tools, but outside of running and dunking and being a good rim protector, doesn't do a whole lot. Look, if the Sixers can end up with one of Ryan Kalkbrenner or Maxime Raynaud here in the second round, I am totally fine with the fact that the Clippers went this route here at the end of the first round as opposed to some of the other guys that are still left on the board, who we'll take a look at who's still available here in just a second.
No doubt. You see the countdown to round 2 clock right below us, under 5 minutes to go until the second round gets underway. You have the Suns and the Celtics up there pretty quickly making the first 2 picks in this second round. Get the comment section going once again. Who do you think is the best pick so far? Drop us a name down below in the comment section. 215 people watching live, 32 likes. As you come in here, please make sure you hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. It goes a long way in supporting the show. The more likes that we get, the more people who find the stream, and the more fun that we can have. So obviously, that's always what we're trying to accomplish. Lie win. Ace to Utah was my wish list. Okay, you got your wish. Lee also said they stole Yang from the 76ers. Christopher Moody, he wants a big to go to Philadelphia. The big from Creighton, who we're about to talk about here in just a moment. So earlier today, Chip, up on Philadelphia 76ers now, you did a great job of looking ahead to some round 2 targets for the Sixers. Let's look at some of those players and some of the top players available as we shift gears to round 2. Here are Rolly's best players available. Rasheer Fleming out of St. Joe's. He played under Billy Lang, and he's a very talented wing. I know that Bill Simmons, during his podcast last night, he had talked about him. He tweeted out that he was hoping that Fleming was going to go to the Celtics in the first round. Well, Boston might have an opportunity to get him in the second round. Adu Thiero, the wing out of Arkansas, second best player available. Noah Penda, Tyrese Proctor, Cam Jones, Ryan Kalkbrenner. That is the big who we just were alluding to in the comment section. Maxime Raynaud, and then Sion James, the wing out of Duke. Top 8 players available right there. And then we ask you this as well. Who will the Sixers draft tonight? Who do you want the Sixers to draft tonight? Be sure to let us know. Chip, the players who you're kind of pinpointing and some of the players who you talked about a little bit earlier today on that video.
Yeah, so I listed out 5 guys earlier, but it's really the top 3 guys that I'm really locked in on. Now, unfortunately, before we came on the show here today, the Suns, very, very active in the trade market. I think made 3 trades just today before the second round kicked off to sort of maneuver up the board. So we can show you all the trades they made today because kind of wild. So they kicked things off by trading 2 future second round picks for the 36th overall pick from the Brooklyn Nets. Then they traded picks 52 and 59 in the second round to get number 41. So they move up there in the second round. And then they package 36, which they got earlier from the Nets, along with 2 future seconds, to move up to number 31, which is the first pick of the second round. And unfortunately, Shams reported that they are going to take one of the guys I would have loved for Philadelphia, that is Rasheer Fleming, who that typical 3-and-D wing, 6'8", 6'9", with a 7'5" wingspan, shot 40% from 3, just a winning basketball player. Not someone that's going to lead your team in scoring, not someone that you're going to give the ball to and ask you to go get a bucket every possession, but just the perfect complementary piece. I would have loved Fleming. I see Charles in the chat saying Rasheer Fleming. I see some other people in the comment section of the video earlier saying Rasheer Fleming. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. There was reports earlier that there was a bidding war of sorts for that number 1 pick in the second round today to get that from Minnesota, with teams looking to move up to get Fleming at 31, who should have gone in the first round. So, unfortunately, he'll be gone, but that still leaves, hopefully, one of Ryan Kalkbrenner or Maxime Raynaud at that spot for Philadelphia. Both centers, different skill sets for each of them, but whichever one's there, I'm fine drafting either of them. So as long as one of those 2 are there, that's fine. If both of them go, I have more discussions to get into. I see my boy Wilson in the chat, my boy Billy, watching
Bradley,
on Chip's
what up,
toilet,
man?
watching in Chip's bed. Yo, chill, bro. Chill. He is here visiting.
Him and B-Doc competing for
Yeah.
place.
B-Doc apparently always at my crib. I don't know if he's there too, hanging out with Billy. But B-Doc saying, 1, you guys are slaying it, doing an awesome job. Appreciate you.
It, man.
Love to have Ryan Kalkbrenner. Yeah. By the way, I was saying on the show yesterday, 3-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. My fault, Ryan Kalkbrenner. 4-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. So want to make sure I got that right for that boy Ryan Kalkbrenner, because 4-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, I know it's a Big East, but still, that's impressive stuff right there.
No, it's the Big East. Big East is the best conference in basketball.
Oh, of course. How could I forget?
Growing up watching Big East basketball at Madison Square Garden for the Big East tournament, that was in its heyday. Now, I say that kind of jokingly because that's a big take here at the office. Smitty, Roley, they love Big East hoops.
Yeah, Seeps won't
Patrick
like that
Seatman is certainly up there as well. Growing up, there was nothing better than the Big East when all of the teams were still in the Big East. But now it's gotten diluted a little bit with all this conference realignment. But Kalkbrenner, I think he's the guy who I'm honing in on. Sixers need a big, I believe. I'm with Chip on that. We're in lockstep in talking about the Sixers needing a big. You just can't bank on the health for Joel Embiid. He's on the wrong side of 30. He has a long injury history. I do like Adem Bona, but you got to plan for the future a little bit. And Kalkbrenner is a really good defensive player. I think that translates. I think that he can grow on his offensive game. So Kalkbrenner is my guy. I also would have loved to have gone with the St. Joe's product there, but unfortunately, according to Shams, he is going to be off the board. If you want the Sixers to crush round 2, I need you to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. Almost 300 people hanging out. Only 50 likes. Where the real ones at?
Come on.
We should be able to get to 100 likes in less than a minute because the NBA draft round 2 is about to get underway. And for those of you who are like, there's no way that the Sixers are going to be able to get a good player. Second round doesn't mean anything. Some good players have gotten selected in the second round. Jalen Brunson out of Villanova. Nikola Jokic was the 41st overall pick. Draymond Green was a second-round selection. You can get some quality dudes in the second round, and the second round is about to get underway. We're up to 69 likes. Very nice. Now up to 72. Let's get to 100 before this first pick is made. Also, we're on 76ers now. We're live, baby. Sixers taking VJ Edgecombe last night. He's taking the Luka number because Kyle Lowry expected to return to Philadelphia, and I guess Lowry is going to come back and wear the number 7. Edgecombe will be wearing 77. He did rock the number 7 while at Baylor. We have a link for you if you want to get those jerseys, but I am curious, how do you feel about VJ wearing the number 77? Just type like G for good, B for bad. Do you like the number choice or not? Let me know down in the comments section.
Man, I wish he could just wear 7, man.
Yeah.
I don't like the look of 7.
Lowry's an old, dusty vet. Give up number 7 to the young pup, the rookie. Because what I also don't like is when a player like LaShawn McCoy wears 29, then he goes to 25. Quinyon Mitchell, early last year, was wearing 30, went to 27. Kyle Lowry retires after this upcoming year. And what? Is Edgecombe going to change his jersey from 77 to 7? So all these Sixers fans will have a 77 jersey, and then it's like, this is outdated now. Now you could look at it, say, hey, I'm an OG. I had the 77 Edgecombe jersey, but let him just rock 7 from the jump.
Hey, if you like the jersey, though, you think it's sweet, they are on sale now. You can get them. Chatsports.com/V-J. I threw that link in the live chat, so you can just click on it in the live chat. You can go get one. I'll tell you what, I'm thinking about getting a VJ Edgecombe jersey. Now, I'm hoping he changes the number because 77, it's like, man, I just wish he would rock 7. But you know what? If he's good, then all of a sudden, 77 could look pretty good. It look good on Luka. He made it look good. But I think VJ, like you're an athlete, an athletic player, someone like Luka. I think it kind of fit as, no shade, but a little bit of a bigger guy, right? That's okay. VJ flying up and down the court in 77, he just feels like a single-digit number guy to me. But they are available. You can go get them right now. Chatsports.com/V-J. That is in the chat, baby. As we are moments away, we should be, from this second round getting started here. Phoenix will be on the clock. They're going to take Rasheer Fleming. Before we do get into it, I think we got $57, I want to say, in Super Chats last night.
Yep.
So we'll be running back another Super Chat menu. My goal is to see if we can get to $100 today. If we can get to $100 collectively, doesn't have to be one person. It could be $5 here, $10 there. That'll get me to do a beer bong or a shotgun. If Chase wants to do one, he can as well. I know you said you're kind of holding out on the
training heavy, right, man. Been training heavy. But you heard Chip. Our goal for tonight: definitely overtake the $57 that we got last night in Super Chats. Can we get to 100 tonight? That is our goal. Goes a long way in supporting the show. We obviously appreciate all of your Super Chat donations, and it's really helped us build our company into a powerhouse right here on YouTube, one of the leading sports networks on the YouTube platform. And given how competitive the landscape is, it's incredible how much we've been able to grow. Wouldn't be possible without all of you. So we certainly appreciate your support. All right, the ESPN set, they're ready. It's a better set than last night when ESPN, whether it was ESPN or ABC, they had disastrous, horrific coverage. Tonight's lineup, a little bit better as far as the talent goes. But if you're ready for round 2 to start, come on now. Hit that thumbs up icon. Like the video. I say it's a better lineup for ESPN. Then they go to Jonathan Givony, a great NBA draft analyst, and he's like sweating profusely on air.
Yeah, he is not good on air, man. But his stuff is great.
Yeah.
His analysis
is awesome.
Got some good scoops, but yeah, on air a little tough.
Wait, so Ace Bailey arrived at the draft last night with those high boots. Did he take the stage with his pants untucked?
I missed that.
Looked like right there he didn't have his pants tucked in like he did when he got off the bus.
B-Doc, Ace Bailey's a big baby. Damn. DC Marley, Drum should give up number 1. You know what? Hopefully Drummond's not back. All respect to Drummond. Hopefully he's not back. Number 1 frees up. I would love VJ wearing number 1, baby. Lowry retired. He did not retire yet, JJ. He wants to play another year with Philadelphia, unfortunately.
Jason Bennett, Chase Mother Effin Sr. What's up, Jason? Good to see you. Good to hear from you. CJ, he's mentioned in our goal, a hundo.
Yes,
DC
sir.
Marley adding it was his high school number. Nice.
Speaking of a hundo, 5 legs away from a hundo. We
Yes,
get
sir.
there, I'm cracking my first drink of the night.
Let's
well,
go.
happy dad. 5 more likes. Let's get there.
Allie G, if me and Wilson both send a 5, will you do a shot?
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be a 50% off.
I'll do it.
Shot.
I'll do it, Ali G. If you each send a 5, I'll do a shot.
Let's go.
I got the vodka sitting on deck.
Doobie Vision, check Eric Dixon. Lowry wants one more chip. That'd be a good way to go out. Kyle Lowry returns to the Sixers, hometown team, grew up in North Philly, went to Nova. I thought he played well 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When the Sixers acquired him last year, it wasn't that great.
No.
But if he can end his career in his late 30s, winning a title with the Sixers, that would be their first title since the 1980s when Dr. J was on the Sixers. That would be special. Wilson Bradley, good stuff, man. Might meet you this weekend. We appreciate your support of the show, though. Y'all better run this shit up. Hey, that's what we try to do every day.
Yes, sir. $5 is a beer, cheers, and we got 100 likes. So shout out the real ones. Hey, it's a second round, but this is when the real ball knowers are out, baby. This is when we can really have a good time, And the Sixers are up pretty quickly, right? 5 picks in, so we don't have to wait too long to get some action.
Exactly. Looking forward to it. Sixers with an opportunity to add another good young stud to the roster. Baby mayhem. Quentin Grimes reminded me of Kobe when he played for Philly at the end of the year. I'm not going to go that far, but look, when Tyrese Maxey was out, Paul George, Joel Embiid shut down, Quentin Grimes was the Sixers' best player. I would say early in the year, the only reason the Sixers were worth watching to see what Jared McCain could do night in, night out. Then at the end of the year, even though the Sixers couldn't even crack 30 wins, the reason why you tuned in, what is Quentin Grimes going to do now? And it was also a good subplot. Everybody was watching Quentin Grimes saying to themselves, Nico Harrison traded away Luka, then he got fleeced by Daryl Morey with this Quentin Grimes trade because Grimes went from Dallas to the Sixers. He cooked. Caleb Martin was bad and injured for the Dallas Mavericks. And of note, too, Daryl Morey was talking last night about the Sixers guard rotation. He specifically mentioned Quentin Grimes by name. He's a restricted free agent, but the Sixers clearly very interested in bringing him back. Morey talking as though he is going to be back. We were talking earlier about some of the noteworthy second-round picks. Jalen Brunson, 33rd. Draymond Green, 35th. Chris Middleton, 39th. Nikola Jokic, 41st. So Middleton and Green were both in 2012. Jalen Brunson in 2018. Nikola Jokic in 2014. You can get some solid players in round 2. Ali G with the 5. So we have Wilson and Ali G getting us going on the Super Chats, Drink Clowns.
Hey, I said if y'all send them in, I'll do the shot. So
That'd be
here
a
we
shot.
go. We got the vodka on deck. Israel Millward, what up, and subscribed since 2022.
All right, Israel.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man.
All right, here we go.
JJ Maxwell. What are we going to do with the jam at the guard position? We have, 5, 6 guards? I think you just look at it and you say this, right? Maxi's going to start. You have to decide, do you start Edgecombe, Grimes, or McCain? You can get away with starting 2 guards. At times, I think you can get away with starting 3 guards. But, Chip, that's a good question. How do you think the Sixers work out this guard rotation now? Because there's no doubt they're a little bit guard heavy.
Yeah, I would guess, and what I would do, Maxey obviously starting, and then I think Grimes would start
Grimes
at the
starts.
2. And then I think off the bench to start the season, you bring McCain and Edgecombe off the bench. Now, they can still play a lot of minutes. You know, Maxey, I'd say.
McCain, the primary ball handler.
Yeah, you let McCain be the primary ball handler a little bit. You know, VJ plays off the ball. I think you can still run lineups, like you said, where Grimes is your 3, and you have Maxey and McCain and Grimes, or Maxey and VJ and Grimes out there. I don't love the Maxey and McCain together, honestly. And Daryl Morey talked about that last year, like, just have some concerns offensively with those 2 being out there on the floor at the same time. But I wouldn't be worried about having all these 4 guys. You can find big minutes for all of them still. They'll overlap minutes with each other. You know, if there's ever injuries, you don't want to have to plan for that, but realistically, you just kind of do. So you have guys that can step in different moments, and allows you to not have to play VJ big minutes right away. But I was listening to Jay Billis talk earlier, and he said he expects VJ to be able to get a lot of minutes pretty quickly because of his defensive intensity and his athleticism. So you can, it's a good problem to have, really, at the end of the day.
And look, Paul George might have to make a sacrifice, right? He might have to play some 4. And I know he's probably more comfortable playing the 3, but look, brother, you got a bag. And you're going to have to play the 3, you're going to have to play the 4, because with the way that this roster is constructed, there will be times where you're going to have 2 traditional guards in the backcourt. You're going to have Quentin Grimes at that 3 spot. Paul George is going to have to play the 4, and if Joel Embiid is back and healthy, he's going to occupy that 5 spot. I've always said that the NBA really is a wing league. I think you win titles with wings. You look at the course of NBA history, Dr. J, wing. Larry Bird, wing. Michael Jordan, wing. Kobe Bryant, wing. Kevin Durant, wing. LeBron James, wing. I think your best chances of winning a title are with the legitimate wing. But you also can think of a formula where if you have a very good guard rotation, and Daryl Morey said last night, we think that we could have the best backcourt in the NBA, that can help lift you to a title as well. Look at the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry at the 1, and Klay Thompson wasn't a wing. He was playing the 2 because they had Harrison Barnes playing the wing. They had Andrew Wiggins playing the wing. And when they were winning titles, it was Steph at the 1, Klay at the 2. Now, Klay brought you a lot of size at the 2. He brought you defense at the 2. Unfortunately for the Sixers, they don't have that 2 outside of VJ Edgecombe, who can really defend. Maxey's not a great defender. Jared McCain is a little bit too small. Quentin Grimes isn't a great defender. But that's why the insertion and the addition of VJ Edgecombe with those other guards can be complementary. And speaking of the Sixers, maybe surprising some people. Maybe having a really good 2025-2026. Bouncing back from last year. Real dreamers, changed the world. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I'm cautiously optimistic for this year. Let's go Sixers. So about a week from this point, this time last year, Chip and I were really high on the Sixers team. Daryl Morey went out there in free agency. The spending spree was real. They landed Paul George, brought back Kelly Oubre, retained Kyle Lowry. They made all the types of moves that we wanted them to make. Andre Drummond as well. And you're thinking the Sixers, they're going to get past the second round for the first time since 2001. One of the most disappointing seasons ever. Oh, it's just
15 minutes in,
horrific.
We're finally getting started. And we already know the first pick of the second round. Crazy. Appreciate that $2, real dreamers.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Phoenix Suns, after that trade up, will be picking 31st. And as Chip noted, we already know the pick. The Suns do have 4 minutes to make their selection.
Yeah,
and
they're
so
going to
we'll
be
wait
going
and see
Rasheer
on
Fleming.
that front. They're going to take Fleming. Of course, ESPN still has Minnesota on the clock, but it's a proposed trade to Phoenix. I love how finally somebody in the national spotlight last night spoke out on the ridiculousness of the hats. Scott Van Pelt was like, I just don't get it. We can change this. The NBA is too smart to keep doing this. What are we doing? NBA has to make the adjustment. It is idiotic. It's the moment of their life. Walking up to the stage, shaking the hand of Adam Silver. They're living out their dream of being drafted to the NBA. And they're wearing the wrong hat for the photo opportunities. So stupid. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, by the way. Approaching 23,000 subscribers last night. Able to pick up a bunch of new subs. That's awesome stuff. If you want Sixers coverage year-round, lock us in. Subscribe, join the movement. Chip has been crushing it. Wilson Bradley, another $2 super chat. He said, Brian, real quiet when the money come out.
You talking about B-Doc?
Talking about B-Doc, I think.
He taking shots at B-Doc? Man, what's going on here? What's going on?
Clive Johnson saying, go Birds. What up, everyone? It's been a minute. Clive, good to hear from you again. Good to see you in the chat. What is up, my brother? Oh, cool. Thanks.
Thank you. Got here. Oh.
This place is fire.
Just send it on this link here. Oh, we just picked up another sub. Appreciate that. Let's try to get to 22,600 if we can tonight. We're 51 subs away. Lock us in. Sixers news, rumors, analysis. Every single day. All year round, baby. Lock us in. We're deep diving in the second round of the NBA draft, man. It's only for the real draft sickos, real Sixers sickos out there. Let's have a night. Here's that too. My boy
Wilson.
Billy, who changed his profile picture.
So it's
to-
Billy, not Wilson.
His name is Wilson, but we call him Billy.
Okay. How does that work?
That's just like, I don't.
Is
I
that
actually
his
don't
middle
know.
name?
Huh?
Is that his? Is
I think it's just a nickname.
Okay.
I've been calling him Billy.
Billy Bradley, BB.
That boy BB. Brian, real quiet when the money come out. Hey,
Yeah.
B-Doc, we love you, man.
B-Doc, where you at, homie?
Yeah, where you at, B-Doc? Tyree, don't have any room for more non-shooters. Well, if you take a big, that's different. But that's why I like Maxime Raynaud. He can shoot that thing. He can shoot for sure. Stretch four me, please. I'll tell you what. If the Sixers take Janai Broom, there will be a crash out.
Yeah.
I will be pissed.
It's too early for that.
I see Japoy bringing up the name. That's why I bring it up. Absolutely not.
Not a good
I do not
athlete.
want Broom. I think we got 327 people watching right now. I think 200 of y'all at least would have a higher vertical jump than Janai Broom. I mean, it was just unbelievable. All right, the pick's officially in. And it is, as expected, it's going to be Rasheer Fleming.
Rasheer Fleming to Minnesota / Phoenix after Phoenix had traded up with Minnesota to 31st overall. Shams Charania had reported that Phoenix was honing in on Rasheer Fleming, the wing out of St. Joe's. A lot of you from the Philly area might be familiar with him playing under Billy Lang at St. Joe's in the Atlantic 10. 6'8 and a quarter, 232 pounds, prototypical size at that wing spot. Last year for St. Joe's, he played 31-plus minutes per game. And this is a really good shooter and defender with excellent aforementioned size. Dominant play finisher at the rim who really improved his three-point shooting every year. He's a physical defender in the front court can probably guard 3 to 5 at the NBA level. He does struggle to create a shot in the half court, but what's the term we've been mentioning in identifying Rasheer Fleming as? 3-and-D. When you're a 3-and-D player and you've shown the ability to knock down three-pointers consistently and to defend, you don't really need to create your shot, especially when you're going to a team like the Phoenix Suns, where they have creators who can do that for you. Fleming, nearly 15 points per, good rebounder as well, good defender, as evidenced by the block and steal numbers, 1.5 blocks per night, 1.5 steals per game, 53.1% from the field. And I want to look at his improvements for what he did from beyond the arc, because there were some sizable improvements there. When he was a freshman, he connected on 29.7% of his threes. Sophomore year, 32.4%. And junior year, 39%. So look, that is sizable improvement in 3 years. He went up nearly 10 percentage points from his first year to his third year. And if you can hover around that number and you can defend with that size, you will be in the NBA for a decade.
Yeah, again, another guy I would have loved to have him. Talked about him in this morning's video. Just the perfect 3-and-D complementary piece. So, love this for Phoenix. After going Malawach, after going big man, they definitely do need a wing like this. So, not a second round guy, man. It's someone that should have been taken in the first round. This to me is an A pick.
I like it too.
Oh, are we just supposed to send it in there?
Yeah. So Rasheer Fleming to the Suns there at 31. Boston is on the clock, followed by Charlotte twice, and then the Sixers at 35. The Celtics, second in the East last year, 61-21. They took Hugo Gonzalez with their first pick, the wing out of Spain, in the first round last night. Jason Tatum, when is he going to come back? We have no idea. Tore his Achilles in that playoff series against the New York Knicks. They traded Jrue Holiday. They traded Kristaps Porzingis. And so last year, this time last year, you're looking at the Celtics as the NBA champions. You're thinking that they can go on a run for a while. They've already dismantled that team. Now, part of that is because of the Achilles tear to Tatum, but Jrue Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis traded. I like the addition of Anthony Simons. He's in a contract year. He'll be motivated. Blazers didn't want to pay him. He can really score it. Injuries are a little bit of a concern. Last year, drafted Baylor Shireman, Anton Watson. Would have been interested to see if Tatum did not tear that Achilles. He was having a whale of a game. Could the Celtics have come back against the Knicks? Crazy how things can change just in an instant. Their key free agents, Al Horford, Luke Cornett. Horford's an unrestricted free agent. Cornett, a restricted free agent. A lot of key financial decisions coming up. And what's going to be entertaining to watch, Jaylen Brown just going off next year. He's going to get a lot of shots to be the guy. Their team needs long-term center and a true point guard.
Well, funny enough, we've been talking about Boston. They just traded this pick to the Orlando Magic.
This one, 32.
Yep. So this pick, this will be going to Orlando, and it's another guy that I talked about on this morning's video.
Okay.
Noah Penda.
Noah Penda, the forward out of France, being selected here by Boston. But we're seeing that this pick will now get sent to the Orlando Magic. Penda, 20 years old, another Frenchman making his way to America to play in the NBA, 6'8", 225. In 2024-2025, 26.6 minutes per game, 10 points, 5 boards. Not a bad three-point shooter, just a tick under 35%. At that size, really good passer. And he can hit his teammates anywhere. Does all of the little things very well. Hustle, cutting, rebounding. Despite him not showing a lot of ability as a shooter, the form is solid. He can get his shot off at that height. He looks comfortable shooting the ball, and he was under 35%. He can also drive a little bit and finish with both hands. So here are the trade details. Magic getting 32 overall. Celtics going to move back to pick 46. They're going to get 57. And then they're going to pick up second-round picks in 2026, 2027. The classic night 2 of the NBA draft throw-in fillers. Those second-rounders, which will be flying around all night.
Good news for the Sixers here because Boston was a team who very easily could have picked one of those two centers, either Ryan Kalkbrenner or Maxime Raynaud. They trade the pick. Magic don't take one. Now it's back-to-back picks for Charlotte and then Philly. If Charlotte takes both centers, I'll be shocked. So the Sixers in good position here to get either Ryan Kalkbrenner or Maxime Raynaud. B-Dog, he just messing around. He was just messing around. He wasn't really trying to come at you. He was just messing. You ain't got to worry about all that, B-Doc. Japoy. Please, Charlotte, get Maxime. Yeah, you're all good, B-Doc. We love you, brother. We love you. So Japoy, you want? No, you're good. Japoy, you want Charlotte to get Maxime? I want the Sixers to get him. I don't want Charlotte to get him. We'll see what they do. Back-to-back picks here.
Yeah,
7
Charlotte
foot
at
season.
33-34.
Let's hope they take a center, man. Let's hope they take a center. Because top guys left now. I wouldn't mind a Duke Thiero.
Okay.
He's the other guy that I
Arkansas
talked about on the
produces
show.
some really good players, man. Arkansas produces some really good players.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And he's a guy who, little bit more of a project, I would say, but I definitely don't. We don't need another guard. Don't need to do Tyrese Proctor or Cam Jones. Ryan Kalkbrenner. Again, Kalkbrenner or Maxime Raynaud should be the picks. There's some other guys here. I'm locked in on those two. Charlotte could trade a pick, and both centers could still be picked. That's a good point, Bill. Very well could happen. That would suck. Javier Kobe Brea, the top shooter. Brea is a sniper. He is a shooter. Maybe the best, just pure shooter in this class.
Who is that?
Kobe Brea.
Okay.
Out of Kentucky. But, is that the route you go now? Because he's not going to do nothing else but shoot the ball. But certainly, a skill set the Sixers could use. Let's see. What other names we got in there? Eric Dixon's the name I've seen thrown out a couple times. Rolly doesn't even have him in his 16 best guys available.
Okay. B-Doc, it's all good, brother. We're just messing around, dude. We appreciate your support, my guy. All good. And by the way, these are the final 2 picks for Charlotte, too, at 33-34. No picks elsewhere. Could be looking for a defensive-minded guard.
So Eric Dixon is the Nova guy. So there's a connection there, obviously. That's why I think some Sixers fans are interested. 3-time All-Big East, 5 full seasons at Nova, averaged 23 a game this past year. 45.
I'm really curious. What do you think the Sixers' plans are for Justin Edwards?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think he's in the cards to start this year. Depending on what happens with Kelly Oubre.
We're talking about him getting like 15, 20 minutes per game, though? Has to, right?
At least.
Yeah.
Oh, at least. I think he should be in line to get somewhere between 20 to 25 the way he ended last season, man. With his size, 6'7", obviously talented.
Can defend a little bit, shoot the rock.
Yeah, he should be in line to get a significant amount of minutes. And honestly, I wouldn't mind him, if Oubre's gone, starting some games.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't. He looked really good at the end of last year now.
I'd frankly love to see the Sixers move on from Oubre and just go with that youth wave.
Yeah, just let it happen, man. Oubre, I know Oubre's a fan favorite. We love him. He plays hard, athlete, good defender, but when you shoot 30% from three, it's just hard to put you on the floor come playoff time.
Yep. Sion James is the pick for Charlotte here at number 33.
Interesting.
We were talking about them needing an on-ball defender. Sion James is certainly that. Where does he fit in? We'll see. But the Hornets going with 2 Dukies in the draft. He's grown as a shooter. And that was a good little stride for him because to start his college career, he struggled to shoot the rock a little bit. And the Duke picks so far in the draft, Cooper Flagg, Kaman Maluach, Con Knipple, Sion James. James has also taken some strides in addition to shooting to be a better defensive prospect. And I think that he has some defensive traits to really play well at the next level too. Not a ton of ability as a creator, but he will get in your grill on the defensive end of the floor. And so James here to the Hornets at 33. Hornets remain on the clock at 34, then the Sixers will be picking at 35.
All right, they're locked in to be able to get one of the 2 centers. They're locked in to be able to get either Kalkbrenner or Raynaud. Please make it happen, Maury. Please. I know he said Embiid's doing good in his recovery. I get that. But I do not want to see Andre Drummond on this team next year. I'm sorry. I want a big. I wouldn't mind Ado Thiero, though. Ado Thiero, if you're going to go with a wing, because I don't think you go guard, it's got to be either Ado Thiero or one of the 2 bigs, depending on what happens here with Charlotte at 34. They did trade away Mark Williams, of course. So, do have a need there at that center spot. Wouldn't be surprised if they went with one of those 2 centers right now. Would not be surprised. Baby Mayhem, after 35, we have no more picks. Yep, Sixers pick at 35, and that's it for them. Unless they trade back into the second round for some reason. Philly, please take Maxime Raynaud, Ado Thiero. Got to be one of those 2. JC, Duke fan here. Sion James was always the toughest dude on the court. Yeah, I like that for Charlotte, man. I like that pick for them. 41% from 3, 81 from the line, 4 years at Tulane, transfers to Duke. Just it seems like a solid, connecting piece to me. Someone who's going to do a lot of things well in the basketball court. Not a lot of great things, but will do some things well. All ACC defense in his 1 year at Duke. Moves a lot defensively like Aaron Nesmith, who, what a defender Aaron Nesmith is.
He's turned into a really good player. He couldn't see the floor for Boston.
Yeah.
And now he's a mainstay on that Pacers team.
Honestly,
and without Tyrese Halliburton next year, he's going to have a bigger role.
Yeah, that offensive game has really come along. Yeah, he was player. I mean, Boston would love to have a player like him right now on that roster, but just fits Indiana so well. I feel like Daryl Morey would look at Janai Broom. Please, don't even bring that up, man. Don't even bring that up. Oh, my God, if they draft Broom. He's really not an NBA player to me. I almost want to say he's undraftable. He'll get drafted, but I don't want the Sixers to be the team that takes him, man. He can't shoot. He can't shoot from 3. He can't shoot from the midi. He doesn't have a free throw. He can only score inside. I don't think he's going to be able to score inside against NBA size. And he's not athletic. What does he do well? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Just not athletic enough.
No.
Especially with the 35th pick.
If he was an athlete, that's fine. He's not an athlete. But you're locked into Maxime or Kalkbrenner. How long until Charlotte announces their pick? Well, they announce the first one. Second one, I can't see the clock from where I'm at. Are they? Is the pick in? Does it say?
Time has run out.
Time has run out?
Yeah.
So it should be any second now. Oh, the pick is in. They're taking Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Oh. That was the guy I wanted.
Yep. So Ryan Kalkbrenner off the board, 1 pick before Philadelphia. Man, guy I would have loved on this team. For sure. 4-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. Great defensive center. Great finisher at the rim.
Hasn't been announced on ESPN yet, but it's about to be.
Shame.
You know what this tells me? If the Sixers trade out at 35, that tells me they wanted Kalkbrenner.
Yeah,
and now they have to buy some more time to figure out who they want to pick.
I would just take Maxime Raynaud or Ado Thiero. One of those two. I think either of those two would be great picks here. Here it is officially. We got it in. Kalkbrenner going to Charlotte.
All right, Ryan Kalkbrenner, the big out of Creighton, going to Charlotte. Charlotte's been bad for so long, but I like what they've done in this draft. I do. Kalkbrenner, he will bring a lot of energy to the floor, a good motor, really good defensive player. What, 3-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year, Chip?
I believe it's actually, I was saying 3-time yesterday. I messed it up. My fault. 4-time.
4-time Big East All-Defensive Player. 19 points per game, almost 9 rebounds, 65% from the floor. Really good finisher around the rim. Does have some shooting upside. Productive shot blocker. I do think that's going to translate to the NBA level, even though he's going up against superior athletes. Going to struggle when defending quicker players. That could hurt him in the pick and roll, but he can get out to the perimeter, block some shots. He just has a knack for turning guys away. Really good interior finisher and rim protector going to Charlotte here.
It's a shame. That's a shame.
Would have been a fun developmental player to watch for the Sixers.
Rolly comps him to Walker Kessler, who's a very, very good player for the Utah Jazz.
I'd say Kessler's a little bit thicker, but they have similar games.
Yeah, for sure. Kalkbrenner does need to add some play strength.
Kessler, I think, averaged like 3 blocks a game his final season in college.
Yeah. Yeah, very
7'1",
similar.
257, though. Man, 4-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. Every year he's in college, he's just winning DPOI.
I have heard, in the NBA circles, some questions about if he can be, if the defensive skills translate to the NBA because he's a little bit slow-footed.
107 dunks, led college basketball. So he's a very good lob threat.
The thing with him, too, is like, Chase mentioned it, he showed some signs of being able to shoot.
Yeah.
And similar to Walker Kessler, who I remember reading this up when I was looking into Kalkbrenner. Kessler, before he went to Auburn, was shooting the ball a lot, as a lot of these players do, right? But got to Auburn, didn't shoot it as much, and then in Utah, they haven't focused on it at all. I think the same thing probably happens with Kalkbrenner. I don't think he really shoots a ton when he gets to the NBA. But if he does, man, he develops that shot, he could have a little bit of a higher ceiling than I think people think. It just does that shot come along. Sixers are on the clock.
Sixers on the clock. Let's go.
Who will they take?
Almost 500 people watching live. Hit that subscribe button for the most elite Sixers coverage year-round. Hit that thumbs up icon. Like the video. When the Sixers make their pick, we'll have an instant reaction to it. But then we're going to go deep dive on the player who's making his way to Philadelphia. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk about this individual player for about 10, 15 minutes. So don't go anywhere. So last guess. Who do you think it's going to be, Chip?
I'm going to go Maxime Raynaud.
Maxime Raynaud?
That's my guess. The big out of Stanford, versatile offensively, can shoot the three.
Keith Pompey just mentioned him as well.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the pick here. I mocked him to the Sixers a couple times when I had them trading up or trading back and getting an additional first-round pick in the mid-20s. I had them taking him there. They can get him at 35. I love it. I love it.
So is that a little silent D on that back end?
Yeah, it's Raynaud.
Raynaud.
Yeah, it's foreign.
Japoy is saying Raynaud or Dixon.
It's from France, so yeah.
Under 40 seconds left on the clock for the Sixers. Oftentimes we have the picks before ESPN announces them. Another reason why you should hang out here with us, plus ESPN's coverage has been horrible.
Rolly compares him to Brook Lopez. Again, as a guy who can shoot the three.
Yep.
Guard the rim a little bit.
Brook Lopez has been a fantastic NBA player.
Yeah.
And he's been a great 5 fit alongside Giannis.
Yeah, that pick and pop game, man. But
Bobby Marks' team needs has facilitator and a 3-and-D wing. Are you forgetting about Justin Edwards, Bobby?
Yeah, I think people are sleeping on Justin Edwards, man. Really sleeping on it.
Jeff Teague, last night, he said Sixers already have their ace Bailey. It's Justin Edwards. He was tied up in that Kentucky system. It messed him up. But we saw last year what he can do. I'm not going to go that far. But what we saw last year, him and Quentin Grimes, really the only two people who you wanted to watch at the end of the Sixers season last year.
No way. This is surprising. Chase, I'm going to let you blind react to this.
Oh, no.
I'm going to let you blind react to this.
Let me know when we have it up.
I'll let you know. Oh, my God. This is unbelievable. Now, I don't know if this is confirmed.
Is it Broom? Oh, no.
I'll tell you when we got it up. All right, Chase.
Blind reacting to the Sixers' 35th overall pick. Who is it? No. It's Broom.
It's Broom.
You got to be kidding me.
It's no joke.
It's Broom. There's no way.
What are they doing, dude? What are they doing?
He is not a good enough athlete to be selected here at 35 overall. What does he do that's special? You're going to go from prioritizing athleticism, burst, and a hyper-athletic prospect in VJ Edgecombe, then you're going to, with your second-round pick, take Broom?
Oh, dude.
Janai Broom is the pick?
You had Maxime Raynaud staring you in the face. And you go Janai Broom.
Flummoxed. Shocked. I thought with his NBA Combine showing, there was a chance he wasn't going to get drafted. First team All-American last year with Auburn. Had a great year. And you can make the argument he was the best player in college basketball. But there's a reason he started his college career at Morehead State. I just don't think he's a good enough athlete. Has a good feel for the game, like his intensity. Can pass out of the low block. He's good on the offensive glass. But he is not an above-the-rim guy at all. And it's not only that. He's only 6'9". Hard-working, communicative player. You got to like that. Solid post-game playmaking ability. Crafty finisher around the rim. But he's not an elite athlete. He can't really shoot. And I don't know how he fits on this Sixers team. 18.5 points per game, almost 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, 51% from the floor. The shot from the outside is very ugly. And I don't think the defense translates because he's small and not explosive. Does have a 7-foot wingspan, but.
Unreal. Unbelievable, man. Of course they went this route.
Look at that mic placement from Shams.
I'm
trying to get a
it's back
picture
up
of
there.
it.
It's back up there.
That is brutal. Oh,
He
man.
tried to fix it, too. No, they cut away. I can't believe they just made this pick.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Look, was he good in college? Yes, he was dominant. Naismith National Player of the Year runner-up. 3 great years at Auburn. But if you're the way he plays the game, right, where he's an interior player, he has no three-point shot. He can't shoot free throws. He shot 58% from the free throw line. He's not shooting threes, 27%. And he's not a good athlete. My fault. He's not just not a good athlete. He is a horrific
He's a horrible athlete.
Terrible. I'm not even joking when I say this. I have a higher vertical than him. I'm not even trolling. I have a higher vertical than him. We got 460 people in here. At least half y'all have a higher vertical than him. Chase is a higher vertical than him. We're both better athletes than him. Now, does he know how to play the game of basketball? Sure. Right? You don't just walk into being a National Player of the Year runner-up by being an awful basketball player. But the things he's good at, he's good on the offensive glass. I don't think he's going to be as good on the offensive glass in the NBA because of his lack of size and athleticism. So that's one strength that I think is out the door. He's a good passer. You'll take that out of a big, right? Fine. Good vision. He can make the right reads. Soft touch around the rim. Times up blocks well. I don't see him being a good rim protector at the NBA level if he's not going to be a good athlete and he's undersized. I
don't get it.
What's his role going to be in the NBA if he's not a good athlete, he's undersized for a big, and he can't shoot? And look at this. What do you know? Addo Thiero goes the very next pick to the Brooklyn Nets. This is what the Sixers should have done.
There's your 3-and-D wing. All right.
Elite athlete.
Let's react to Janai Broom. Where did Kevin O'Connor have him? 47th ranked player. Ruley had him, 41st? And he's old. Super senior.
Yeah, Mr. Master, you jinxed this. You said he was going to do it, and then he did it.
All right. A lot of people came here for this analysis and this reaction. We can't wait for it.
Let's do it.
Janai Broom to the Sixers. Continue to hang out here with us. Continue to like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to talk about him for the next 10 to 15 minutes. This is really where it goes down. So let's go in depth on the Sixers' second-round pick, Janai Broom. What is Daryl Morey going to say? He values athleticism a lot. And the thing with Gershon Yabusele, who's not like a springy athlete, at least he could shoot. Janai Broom can't shoot. Let's talk about it here. What a surprise for the Philadelphia 76ers at 35 overall in the second round of the 2025 NBA Draft. Daryl Morey and the Sixers taking Janai Broom out of Auburn. Did not see this pick coming, but let's react to it. My name is Chase Sr., producer Chip here along for the ride as well. You're watching Philadelphia 76ers now by Chat Sports. Thank you so much for tuning in, and no matter where you are, how you're watching, we appreciate you for making our draft coverage a part of your week here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We always have you covered, by the way, with the best Sixers coverage right here on YouTube. Both Chip and I thought there were better players on the board for the 76ers here at 35. Both of us thought that the Sixers might go in the direction of drafting a center. We looked at that as a need for the Sixers. Bobby Marks on ESPN was saying 3-and-D wing, but both Chip and myself were very high on a player like Justin Edwards, who at the end of last year as a UDFA out of Kentucky played very well for Philadelphia. But we think that the Sixers need some center insurance. We like Adem Bona. We know that Joel Embiid is always hurt. I thought the Sixers should have gone center, but not Janai Broom. What he did at Auburn after transferring from Morehead State, very impressive. And last year, he was arguably the top player in college basketball. But this is a big who is small for a big at 6'9 1/4. He can't jump. Chip and I's vertical might be higher than his. He can't shoot. He's older. He's slow. Last year at Auburn, he blocked 2 shots per game. I don't see how that translates because there are going to be better athletes who he's matched up against. He has some pro comps to Jalen Williams, the big for OKC, not the wing. And there are a lot of pluses to his game. I just don't see how this makes sense for the Sixers. They love the VJ Edgecombe and his athleticism. Janai Broom is not a good athlete. And let's pop back up his scouting report here because it gives you a look at what he's good at, where he struggles, but I also think it backs up why we don't think this pick makes sense for the Sixers. Hardworking and communicative player on both ends of the court. That's awesome. Solid post-game and playmaking ability. He can find his teammates from the low block and the high post. That's great. He's crafty finishing around the rim, but that sometimes doesn't matter if you're undersized and you can't jump. The clip of his vertical leap at the NBA Combine went viral for all of the wrong reasons because he couldn't touch the sticks. And he's not an elite floor spacer either. So what he did last year for Auburn, a great year under Bruce Pearl. And for that program, that NCAA tournament run, making it to the Natty, was fantastic before they lost to Florida. And at 30.3 minutes per game, almost 19 points per, almost 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, 51% from the floor. Great. But to me, Janai Broom was a great college player who is not going to be close to a great NBA player. It wouldn't shock me if he's overseas in a couple of years. And I don't like this approach. I don't like this pick for the Sixers. You had an opportunity to get a really solid player here. And we have seen some really high-level second-round picks in recent memory. Jalen Brunson, Draymond Green, Chris Middleton, Nikola Jokic. There's a lot of talent. You just have to find it. And I just don't know if Broom has any upside here. Now, he can set the tone, showing emotion after big plays. He's got that dog in him. Has a lot of effort. Runs the floor hard. Hustles. Communicates. Suffered that elbow injury in the Elite Eight. He came back. Defensively, he's hard-nosed. Good timing with blocking shots around the rim. He does have a 7-foot wingspan. That helps make up for the lack of vertical. He's a savvy passer. But he made 31% of his threes, 61% of his free throws, can't reliably space the floor, not an elite athlete with switching, and he's not really nimble to guard guards off the switch. So, Chip, I bring you on here. You and I were saying, we don't want it to be Janai Broom. No way it's going to be Janai Broom. It's Janai Broom.
I honestly couldn't believe it when I saw this. I didn't think he was going to be in consideration for this pick. You have somebody like a Maxime Raynaud staring at you in the face, right? A center that can do a lot of things offensively, can space the floor, but I want to focus in on Janai Broom here. First of all, I see some people asking in the chat saying, he's 6'9", how is he undersized for a power forward? I don't think he can play the 4.
Can't play the 4. He's not quick enough.
His play style, right? He dominated college in the interior, finishing at the rim, in the post, fighting on the offensive glass, doing all those things while not being able to space the floor, not being able to really handle the rock from the perimeter. This past year, He shot 58% from the free throw line.
Yeah.
And so he's undersized for the way he plays the game, which is like a true big. And it worked in college because how many true huge 7-footers are you playing in college? Not a whole lot, right? A lot of times he was one of the biggest guys on the floor. In the NBA, he's not going to be that. And you can also, you can get away with being shorter. Like Adam Bona isn't a huge guy. I think he's about 6'9" as well.
Yeah.
But he is a superb athlete, and that's why he makes it work. Broom is a horrific athlete. And his strengths, like, he does fight hard in the offensive glass. We'll see if that translates against NBA-level athletes and NBA-level size. He's a good passer. He's got good vision. That'll play, right? That is something that should translate to the NBA level, and you can maybe hope to build off of that. Soft touch around the rim. Good timing on blocks. But because he's a bad athlete and because he's undersized for his position, I don't see how his strengths translate to the NBA. I'll tell you what, he might win a G League MVP one day.
Yeah. He'll put up numbers in the G League.
This pick might have been for the Delaware Bluecoats. Maybe they were like, oh, man, we got a chance here to get our hands on a potential Hall of Fame G League level player. Look, I don't want to completely write him off because his NBA career hasn't started, right? But unless he's able to develop a three-point shot, which he never had in college at all, it's not like he's going to become a better athlete. That doesn't improve among players. So unless he does become a better shooter, it's hard for me to picture a world where he's a super impactful NBA player. So not a fan of the pick, especially when you had, again, a player like Maxime Raynaud, a center who could do a lot of things, a player like Ado Thiero, who's a very athletic wing. Just surprising to me for a player who I thought he would get drafted, but not until the last few picks of the second round. Just disappointed they went this route. Really.
I see some people in the comment section, man, hating this bad, it has to be a sin. You guys are calling him terrible. We're not hating. We're not calling him terrible. But when you were at 35 and you have an opportunity to get an impactful player, this pick was a reach. I don't think that Johni Broome would have gone until the 40s, maybe the 50s. So number one, it's a reach. Number two, did the Sixers have a need at center? Yes. But Johni Broome is an undersized center who can't shoot, can't space the floor, and his athleticism is not there. I don't see how the athleticism translates to the NBA level. And so Chip made a good point. He did all of these things at an elite level in college. I don't think he's going to be able to do those things at an elite level in college. When you have a pick in the second round, you want there to be some upside. Johni Broome is a super senior whose game is maxed out. He's not going to get a lot better. If he could shoot and knock down shots from the free throw line, that's one thing. But he struggled there as well. What is his elite skill? Hustle? Passing out of the post? He's a crafty finisher, but he's 6'9". He's going to be going up against guys who are longer, twitchier, bigger, more athletic than him. And they're going to be able to block his shots because he doesn't have a ton in his bag. He's going to have to win with being gritty, grimy, and tough. I loved his game in college. He was a dog at Auburn. I mentioned earlier, you can make the argument he may have been the best player in college basketball last year. Is that being a hater? I don't think so. But I don't like the pick for the reasons that I mentioned because this is a limited big. And there were better players on the board, and this is a reach. That's my opinion. Prove me wrong. Grade the pick. A, B, C, D, or F. Join the conversation down in the comment section right now. Let us know what you think about Johni Broome to the Sixers. As for VJ Edgecombe, he was the pick at number 3 for the Sixers. You can get his rookie jersey right now at chatsports.com/V-J. You see the link right down below. He is set to wear the number 77, Luka Doncic's number. Kyle Lowry still has 7. He's occupying that. Hopefully he gives it up, though. Chatsports.com/V-J. Get your VJ Edgecombe jerseys. We put that link in the chat, and it's also in the show notes of today's 76ers Now. So the two Sixers picks, these are the only two picks that they'll make, barring them trading back into the second round. VJ Edgecombe, third overall, the guard out of Baylor, and then Janai Broome. And on the athletic scale, VJ Edgecombe, elite in his own stratosphere. Janai Broome on the complete other end of the spectrum. On the lowest tier among all NBA draft prospects who will get drafted. Edgecombe is a player who will give you elite defense. He can slash. He's going to be a highlight reel-worthy player in transition. He can throw down dunks. He can block shots. After a rough start shooting the ball at Baylor last year, really started to find his groove. He averaged around 17 points per game, around 36% from three. I think right away he's going to be able to impact games at a very high level defensively. He could play off ball with McCain and Maxey, and that defense is going to allow him to see the floor. The athleticism will translate. One of the best, if not the best athletes in this draft. For Janai Broome, talked a lot about him, just a subpar athlete who's undersized. It's one thing if you're like 7'2", it's another if you're 6'9". So Chip, your thoughts on the Sixers draft here?
Yeah, just want to end up by saying this. I like the VJ pick. I think he's going to end up being a good player. His mentality, his character, his ability, his athleticism, the way he plays defense, his highlight rear level dunks. I think he'll be able to come along in the areas that he needs to work on with his shooting and his handle. And I think he can be a really good player. So, I want to give credit for that pick. And, of course, with all these guys, got to wait to see what they do in the NBA. And for Broome, I do feel just the way I feel about him. Like, I know it might sound like we're hating and we're calling him trash and whatnot. Look, great player in college. Had some great moments. Nearly won National Player of the Year. He's obviously talented as a basketball player, right? But at some point, we see it a lot of times. These guys who are really good in college go to the NBA and they just don't find that same level of success, right? It just happens when they're not a high-level athlete or when they don't possess NBA-level skills. And if you can't shoot, you're not an athlete, and you're not, a superb ball handler, or you're not doing all these other little things at a high level, it's just hard for me to see your success. So, look, will I be rooting for him to succeed for the Sixers team?
Of course.
Yes. Of course. Every player that comes to the Sixers, I'm going to be rooting for them and hoping them and that they do well. But I'm not going to come on here and lie to you guys. It's just how I feel about the player, right?
Yep.
The way it is, if I'm wrong, if we're wrong and he's really good, then that's great, right? But it's just the way we feel. Everyone has their own opinions. I just have a tough time seeing him really working out at a high level in the NBA. It's just what it is.
Can't be a homer at all times. But hey, we're allowed to disagree. Chip and I clearly disagreeing with a lot of people out there. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, whether we agree or disagree. Always giving you the best coverage right here on Philadelphia 76ers Now. Deep dive analysis, news, rumors. Anytime the Sixers make a move, we're always talking about it. VJ Edgecombe, Janai Broome, welcome to Philly. Let's get it.
Whew.
Right. Lord Buddy Bear, what's up, brother?
Yo!
How goes it? Justin Fowler, I think you're disrespecting Broome a lot. He'll be fine. He's 6'10". No, he's not. 6'9". Javier, Zaire Smith, and Jalil Okafor. Oh, boy. Those are your Edgecombe and Broome comps.
Don't say that.
Don't say that.
Oh.
Richard Lawrence, they got tired of one-year rental bigs. Yeah, would you say Andre Drummond is a spectacular athlete? Probably not spectacular, but he's an elite rebounder and shot blocker. He's also bigger than Janai Broome.
All right, we got some picks to catch up on. Sixers obviously took Broome at 35, and the Lakers traded up to take, with the Timberwolves take Otto Thiero at 36, a player I would have liked. Pistons take the shooter, Chaz Lanier, 37. Pacers take Cam Jones, guard out of Marquette at 38. Elijah Martin, wing out of Florida. I like him as a prospect. Very good defender. Shot the ball well at Florida. Obviously, they won the Natty. To Toronto at 39. Micah Peavy out of Georgetown. To the Pelicans at 40. And then that leaves the Suns on the clock at 41. You would have thought by your reactions we took him at 3. All right, so I want to address this too, because I meant to address this in the video. I saw a few people saying this, like, why are you guys reacting so much? It's a second-round pick. This is the 35th overall pick in the draft. Yeah. We're not talking about some back end of the second-round
59 overall.
Pick. Like, you can really get true impact players here, and in my opinion, there were true impact players at that 35 overall spot. Now, interestingly enough, like Maxime Raynaud still has yet to go, so maybe there's something I don't know about him, and there's a reason he hasn't been picked. But the pick after, the Lakers took Otto Thiero. They traded up to take Otto Thiero, who is not a great shooter, but is a tremendous athlete and a tremendous defender. So, look, I think the Edgecombe pick was good, so I'm not going to hit on that pick. But, again, 35th overall pick is a prime pick. And remember, the Sixers, this pick they didn't have this pick before the trade deadline. They got this pick back from Dallas in that Quentin Grimes deal. So, like, a valuable pick that I hate to say it, but I think it's just kind of a waste. I hate to say that about somebody, but I'm going to be rooting for him. Hopefully he can figure things out and he can find a way to make an impact.
By the way, to kick off Summer League, Cooper Flagg against Bronny James in Vegas.
No, of course.
Yep.
Of course.
Yep. Might actually be like a highly rated Summer League game.
I'll be locked.
Yeah.
I'll be locked into that game.
All right, let's see what other people are saying about Janai Broom.
He cannot shoot the 3, young Bahe.
SEC Player of the Year. Strong physicality, skill, and feel for the game is what Jonathan Givony said.
That's what it seems like to me. He knows how to play the game, but
hit some step-back threes.
I'm not buying his shot, man. He never shot well from 3 in his career.
Chris Mannix, I have bought all available stock in Janai Broom. If contending teams looking for cheap NBA-ready talent aren't frantically trying to trade up to draft him, they are nuts.
That's nuts.
Charles Barkley, Janai Broom is the greatest basketball player in Auburn history. He's taken the throne. That's wild.
Crazy thing to say. Like, I mean, come on, man. Saying that he can shoot the 3, like, the first 3 years of his career, he didn't take any. Then in 2023, 2024, he only took 2.3 a game, shot 35%. You're like, oh,
two
right.
a game for a big isn't bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Shot 35%, which is like, okay. But then this year, shot 27%. And, if he did that and he shot good from the line, I'd say, okay, there's a chance. His free throw percentage over his career, 57, 55, 53, 58. I'm sorry, that's his effective field goal percentage. 61, 63, 56, 61, 58 from the line.
Not good.
I mean, what are we talking about? He defends and rebounds. That's what we need. Look, I will say if he's able to rebound, the Sixers definitely could use some rebounding. I'm just worried that in the NBA he won't be able to rebound because of his lack of athleticism and his lack of size if he's going to play the 5. And if he's going to play the 4, sure, he's got enough size to play the 4, but, man, your lineups are going to be really restricted out there because it's not like Adam Bona could shoot.
Embiid, yeah.
Like, that spacing is going to be terrible. If he's on the floor with Embiid, it's gonna have no space for Embiid to work because no one's respecting Broom out there on the 3-point line. Man.
Dude, the vertical leap. I'm seeing the clips now. Oh.
Let us know.
I mean, I guess a plus is that he's going to be NBA ready at least.
He will be NBA ready. He's light-skinned Zach Randolph. I don't think he has that same. I mean, maybe he does play hard. Zach Randolph, though, it's like maybe Broom would have been good when Zach Randolph played, but how good would Randolph be? I know Randolph was really good, but like in today's
fearless.
NBA,
he's fearless. People will like that.
I also don't think Zebo had that midi. Zebo had that post fade. I don't know
Zach
if I trust
Randolph?
that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Both lefties.
He had that post fade, man. He could shoot it from the midi.
Yeah.
I don't know if Broom can. I don't hate that though. If he clicks, theoretically, I guess I don't hate the Zebo idea. This is kind of like the Yabu replacement. I would much rather have Christian Yabusele on the roster. And Javier brings up a good point here.
Yeah, this is kind of that replacement too.
Although half a good point from Javier. Because I saw some people talking like, this sounds like McCain last year when y'all were saying he wasn't a good athlete, he was undersized. But McCain, as Javier brings up, had some skills you could bank on, right? He could shoot the ball.
From deep.
From deep. And he showed that in the NBA. I don't really see, what are Janai Broom's bankable skills that he was good at in college? He was a good offensive rebounder. He plays hard. He plays smart. I disagree with the fact that saying VJ just dunks and plays defense, solid role player at best. I think he can do more than that. But what do you expect from a second-round pick? This is a high second-round pick. And there were guys that were there that I think were better.
Did have pre-draft workouts with the T-Wolves, OKC, the Clippers, Pistons, Suns, Nets, Hawks, Warriors, Celtics, Raptors. Some good organizations there. Hairline was looking improved for the draft.
Best skill is playmaking. Yeah, he does have good vision. He makes the right play. So you'll take that at least. But Ben Simmons was a good playmaker. Still is. Ben Simmons is still a good playmaker. Does that make him a good player to this day? No.
This is crazy. Desmond Watson, that Florida defensive tackle, who is 6'6", 464, posted a 25-inch vert at the combine. Janai Broom, 24.5 inches.
I mean, come on. Look, I like it. We could debate about it. We can all have our different opinions on it. That's the beauty of this.
Yeah.
Is that everyone can have their own thoughts, their own opinions. I'm not going to sit here and say what I think or what Chase thinks is 100% going to be right. Is he a dog? Sure. Yes. I like that at least he plays hard.
Maybe I just have PTSD from the Sixers, okay? It's been my whole life, PTSD.
Been an underdog his whole life? I mean, yeah, starting off at Morehead State, yes. You like the mentality.
Talk about the audience being mixed. 22% A, 32% B, 22% C, 25% DRF.
Wow, that's the craziest poll
I haven't really seen one like
seen.
that, to be honest. That's that spread out.
Wow.
What do you think about Kobe Bryant to the Warriors?
Oh, Smitty guessed this pick. He said this would be the perfect pick for them.
Because he's
This
a
makes
shooter.
so much sense. The best shooter in the draft. Going to Golden State. This makes so much sense. I think he shot close to 50% from three this year.
Wow.
Let's see.
They
ended up being 43.5.
Wow.
But
Okay. I mean, that's incredible.
incredible
Yeah.
still.
They needed and need more shooting.
Rolly compares him to Luke Kennard, who he's not going to do a whole lot else, but he's going to shoot that ball, man.
Okay. He's going to shoot the rock. So, Sacramento 42, Utah 43, OKC 44. The picks coming up.
Wow. All right. I'm surprised. Oh, there it is. Sacramento took Maxime Raynaud. Finally, his slide stops.
There you go.
I love that pick for them, man.
That's your guy.
Now, clearly the NBA lower than at least I was. When I watched him play, man, he just looked good, man.
I love the Lopez comps, man. I mean, Lopez has been in the league for a minute.
So crazy, Brook Lopez totally changed his game.
Yep.
After his first little bit of time in Brooklyn, just adapt to the modern NBA. Should have been a first round. Man, some people love Janai Broom, man. I'm a little surprised. But, you know, whatever we all think about him, we all have one thing in common. We're all going to be rooting for him. So,
hell yeah. Let's go, Janai.
that's crazy. Man, so split.
Yeah,
Let me get this reaction posted on the IG.
Let's see what people are saying.
Oh, shoot. That's not it. Where'd he send it? Oh, right here.
Derek Coleman lookalike. That's interesting.
If you're new here, hit that sub button, baby. We always
You
love
already
to
know.
talk Sixers with y'all. This is what we do. We love chopping it up with the people, man. So if you're new around here, we do this all the time. Hit that sub button. Lock us in. We're trying to get to 23,000 subs. We're only 22 people away from 22,600. Can we get there?
Mike Race, will Edwards play Summer League? I hope so.
I'd imagine
Get
so.
Justin Edwards out there. Get VJ Edgecombe, Janai Broom out there. Jared McCain hinted at playing. He doesn't need to play. Don't come off that knee injury to play Summer League. Ricky Council, can he play?
What year? Yeah, he could play. I believe he's eligible.
Ricky Council can play. Adam
Third
Bona
year,
can
right?
play.
Yeah, I imagine Bono will play. Ricky will play.
That's a good Summer League squad.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you know, they'll get some UDFA guys at some point.
Yep.
Some two-way guys. Yeah, I imagine Edwards will play.
Look, everybody's like, hey, did you watch the tournament? Yes, we watched the tournament. Janai Broom was awesome. Said that he's one of the best players in college basketball last year. Maybe the best. SEC Player of the Year. First team All-American. But you worry about the athleticism and how the lack of it impacts his ceiling as an NBA player.
Honestly, it was kind of up and down in the tournament, by the way. Like, round 1, 14 points, 11 rebounds against Alabama State. Who cares? Round 2 against Creighton. And mind you, this is against Ryan Kalkbrenner, a big center, 7'1" center. He had 8 points on 4 of 13 shooting, 0 of 4 from 3, 0 of 2 from the line. Did grab 12 rebounds. He was dominant rebounding in the tournament. 11, 12, 16, 14, and 7. But like in that loss to Florida, 6 of 14 from the field, 3 of 7 from the line, 15 points, only 7 rebounds. This is where I get concerned. Against more athletic players, will his rebounding still be at that level? And if you remember, back to this Florida game, because of how athletic Florida was, he was really beat up. He was tired out. Now, was playing a little bit injured as well. But that's just my concern. When the game speeds up, everyone's faster, everyone's more athletic. Can he keep up?
Yep.
That remains to be seen. Was dominant against Michigan State though in the Elite Eight.
Yep.
Which is we know a very physical, good defensive team under Tom Izzo at 25 and 14. He can get a bucket, has to stay persistent developing his game, not rely on the Sixers to develop him too much. They have a terrible track record of developing players. I disagree. You think about players like, even if they let go, like they drafted Isaiah Joe, and he was good for the Sixers.
Yeah.
Now an NBA champion.
Yeah.
McCain was really good in year one. Maxey's developed into a tremendous player.
Yep.
I mean, they developed Embiid.
Daryl Morey does deserve a lot of credit for some of the picks that he's hit on.
Finding Justin Edwards in undrafted free agency. The Adem Bona pick last year was a good pick. I think that they can develop guys, man. Even if Morey makes some questionable decisions in other aspects of roster management, this team does a good job of developing guys. So I disagree with that. Team needs athletes. He's not athletic. I said when the Sixers drafted VJ, he'll be their best athlete. They don't have a ton of great athletes outside of like Kelly Oubre.
Yeah.
So you're just adding another non-athletic player. You need athletes, man, at some point. They need to draft a center to eat up minutes. Then draft Maxime Raynaud. And I don't think Broom can be a true center.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not big enough or athletic enough. That's I don't understand why people won't grasp that.
And he can't space the floor.
He hit some threes from time to time. He hit some step backs. Had that as part of his game, but he's not consistent in doing that. You will like his mentality. You will like his fearlessness. I've seen some people saying new Yabu. That could be part of the thought process for the Sixers.
Yabu can shoot.
I know. Although in the Olympics, he was like, 30, 35%? Broom was around 30, 35%.
In his best year, in his, I guess, junior, true senior year, he was 35%, but this past year he was 28. Gershon Yabusele this year shot 38% from three.
Yeah, he was really good shooting the rock from deep.
Really good.
And the other thing, too, it's like, is Draymond a terrific athlete? I wouldn't say that. But when the Warriors took him at, 35, 37? Great defensive player. Jedi Broom isn't a great defensive player.
Yeah, but that's the other thing I didn't really talk about. He's not like a tremendous defender.
No.
If he was like a crazy good defender, it's fine. I think he's decent. There were no rim protectors left. There were rim protectors left.
I do like his passing from the post. He definitely is crafty and savvy.
Rocco Zakarski was a rim protector. Maxime Raynaud, not a great rim protector. But he at least has a size to potentially be that.
Right. All right. What should we do? Should we keep it rolling? Should we sign off?
Man. If you want us to stay live, we were trying to beat our super chat number from yesterday.
Let's do this. If you want us to stay live, send in a $5 super chat within the next 2 minutes. If not, we'll sign off. Then we'll hit you with some Sixers draft grades and talk Broom and Edgecombe. The other thing, too, Sixers struggled defending the rim. Broom doesn't really help you with that. Now, good shot blocking numbers, which is the plus. But does that translate at 6'9" with no vertical? Carlos Boozer comp to me from Keith Frankel. Boozer was impactful, albeit in a somewhat different era, I don't hate that.
But again, you said it, different era.
Different era.
He was dominant. Like, He was in the Jazz. Just different era.
He had that mid-range game, too, and it was down. They kind of look alike, too, honestly, Boozer and Broom. Sadly, those types are gone from Zachary. Different era of NBA basketball.
Yeah,
Shooting has kind of weaned those types of guys out.
Those kind of guys are fun to watch, and they were talented players, man. Just the way the NBA has gone.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Can Broom get to 37%?
Yeah.
Can he get to 37% from three?
Then he'd be a good player.
Pau Gasol was my favorite. He could still play in today's era. He was so gifted.
Yeah, he's someone who could still be effective for sure.
Yeah. Draymond Green from Kevin? No, because Draymond he might be a top 5 defensive player of all time. Janai Broom struggles defensively.
And he can run your offense.
Yes.
Draymond Green can. And in his prime,
the dribble handoff out of the high post. Yeah, he'll at least shoot from time to time.
Draymond could shoot back in the day. And again, he was dynamic as a defensive player, dynamic as a playmaker.
Yeah, the lack of lateral quickness, and again, the vert that speaks to explosiveness, that hurts Broom on some switches. So he might get put in a blender or left behind and dusted in some of the pick and rolls. We'll see, though. All right, 2 minutes shot clock is up. You want to get dinner?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We'll be back here soon. This is why you subscribe, turn on your notifications. When you hit that bell icon, when we push out a show, you will be notified. Coming up a little bit later, Philadelphia 76ers draft grades. They will be up on the channel. We'll take a look at Broom, Edgecombe. If the Sixers trade back into the second round, we'll, of course, talk about that player as well. We'll also maybe get some insight from Daryl Morey at some point to see what he has to say about this Broom selection. Could be NBA ready. Thanks to everybody for supporting the draft coverage. Remember, free agency begins on Monday. And so it'll be busy here on 76ers Now across the NBA. The Sixers don't have any cash to spend, but you have to imagine they'll be making some roster moves. So continue to support us. We won't disappoint you. Thanks to everybody for watching. For Chip, I'm Chase. We'll catch you soon for our Sixers draft grades. We're out. See ya.